Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to another War of the Spark Premier Draft. Here we've got a pretty powerful rare in our opening pack, Living Twister. A little bit of a difficult mana cost, requiring 3 specific colored mana symbols at only 3 mana. However, you can play this card later in the game and it's still going to be quite powerful. Turn 4, turn 5, so on. You get to spend 2 mana, discard a land, deal 2 damage to any target, so any land draw you get later in the game all of a sudden is just a shock, which is pretty fantastic, and you can even return tapped lands you control to your hand to throw those at your opponent's creatures and stuff as damage as well. So if you're already flooded out and you draw this in the very late game, you just tap a bunch of lands, put them back in your hand, and bam, it's immediately a ton of burn spells that way as well. So Living Twister, an incredibly powerful rare, definitely what we're going to go with here. There are some great uncommons in here as well. Tybalt as just a little planeswalker that makes some little devils, and Prison Realm would probably be my pick, just a great removal spell, being able to exile any creature planeswalker, I believe. So this next pack doesn't really have a good follow-up for Living Twister, unfortunately. The red and green cards just aren't very powerful. Devouring Hellion is really only going to work with a lot of like amass tokens and stuff, and even then, it is kind of slow, no Trampler Menace or anything, but it can get pretty big. Arlen's Wolf is a fine green creature. It definitely can get through board stalls against opponents that have a lot of those little tokens, and Chain Whip Cyclops is definitely the weakest of the 3, I think. That card is just pretty low power toughness for its rate, so I don't think we're taking anything in red-green here. I like Bleeding Edge a lot, 3 mana to get a 2/2 zombie army and give something -2/2 till end of turn. If you can kill something with this, killing an opponent's threat and creating a creature of your own is pretty nice. Sorin's Thirst is more black removal's fine. Jace's Triumph is fine as just a draw 2 little divination style effect, but I don't think any of those are cards I like to take this early. I think it's just going to be Bleeding Edge there. Now, alright, I think I'm going to go with Band Together here. This is just a fantastic green removal spell. 3 mana for an instant speed spell that has 2 of your creatures deal damage equal to their power to another creature, so they don't even have to fight. Your creatures are at no risk at all, and you get to use this at instant speed. This is just so much better than the removal that green gets generally. The removal in this format is just very powerful, so Band Together, a great card. It's going to go great in a deck with Living Twister. That being said, we could try to go into like green-black, take a Leyline Prowler, because that is a powerful card as well, a Death Touch lifelink, so if your opponent doesn't have anything big on the board, you get to gain some life attacking in with this. It also ramps you into bigger stuff, which is fun, and if they have something big on board, it's just a fantastic blocker, trading with whatever you want, and that would go with Bleeding Edge, moving into green-black there, but I do think that Living Twister is just more powerful than Bleeding Edge, so we'll take something that works with Living Twister before we take something that works with Bleeding Edge. And it's entirely possible to end up with Jund. However, with Living Twister, requiring double red, we would prefer red to be our base color. And Bleeding Edge requires double black as well, so splashing into a 3-color deck here is going to be difficult with these mana costs. We have Zhang Yangu here, which is fine. You get to put +1/+1 counters on your creatures, and all of your creatures with +1/+1 counters on them can tap for a mana of any color, so this would help with difficult mana costs like the ones that we have. We can also get a little bit of a +1/+1 counter theme going, so that any proliferate cards like Bloom Hulks that we managed to pick up get stronger. Yeah, I think I'll take a Zhang Yangu here. See if that can help us do some splashy stuff. Other than that, there's like Honor the God Pharaoh, which is a pretty solid red card, and as Living Twister does require double red, we'd like to focus in on red if we can. We may be getting cut out of green-red. I suppose this is just pick 5, so these packs could have just not had a lot for us in the first place, but this pack is generally pretty weak. I'd say the best cards are like Lazotep Reaver and Bolas's Citadel, and Bolas's Citadel is a bit risky of a kind of card. It's good with anything to gain life, and it's good if you can use it early enough, or if you've just not taken damage throughout the game. But sometimes, if you're on the defensive, this card is absolutely terrible. Like if you're just racing your opponent, and you're losing the race a little bit to the point where by the time you cast this, you only have like 7 life or something, this is probably just going to get you killed. But it is really powerful in the right deck, in the right situations. Well, I think black is looking pretty open here. While Crunch Wrangler would work well with cards like Shengangu leading to a Proliferate theme and maybe in a Power 4 or greater green deck theme, Spark Harvest is just a great removal spell and it's very nice to see it this late. We also have solid black cards, Bleeding Edge, Lazotep Reaver, so I think I'm going to take Spark Harvest here, and we might not be on the Living Twister Dream. Definitely have not been overly impressed by the red cards we've been seeing for sure, and even green is looking a bit thin. So I'm going to take Spark Harvest here. Burning Prophet is a solid red card, but that's best in like red-blue and stuff like that. What is this? Choose up to 4 cards in your graveyard. An opponent chooses 2, put them into your hand, and put the rest, or leave the rest into the graveyard. So this is Gifts Ungiven for your graveyard. I guess that's the pick. So this kind of only works in the very late game once you already have 4 things in your graveyard, and the more things in your graveyard, the better, because then you can target better and better cards. But it's kind of like a draw 2, but it's drawing the 2 that your opponent chooses. None of these other cards are exciting to me at all, so I'll just take Deliver Unto Evil because it's the coolest card. It's the artwork that they show on the Premier Draft page, so I'll just take that here and see what happens. Well then, this is a bit strange. We see a Jaya's Greeting here, pick 8. Maybe the other packs just did not have a lot of red, but I think that is the best card in this pack. Not a huge fan of the Bond of Revival. I only really like these kind of cards when there's a lot of self-mill in a format, and there's not really in this one. Vampire Opportunist is pretty filler, 2/1, so very low toughness, but it does give you a mana sink for the late game. And these other red creatures aren't very exciting, so I'll just take the Jaya's Greeting. Alright, maybe just a weird pack distribution here, because now we get a Tibalt. Tibalt's not the scariest Planeswalker ever, but just getting 2 1/1 Devils is fine because of the fact that they deal 1 to any target when they die, so it's kind of like getting 2 2/1s for 3 mana. So yeah, Tibalt seems very fine to me here. Maybe we are moving into Rakdos. Sorin's Thirst still in the pack is a great sign for black. We're already trying to be heavy black with a double black symbol on Bleeding Edge. Sorin's Thirst is going to push us even more into that. Unfortunately, I do not believe we're living the Twister Dream. Probably just Rakdos here. Davriel's Shadow Fugue. I don't like any of these cards, honestly. Very filler creatures or Shadow Fugue. Heartwarming Redemption, I don't even know, but we're not going to be red-white, so. Honor the God Pharaoh, pick 12. I'm very happy to see that. This is a solid draw spell. 3 mana for a 1/1 that allows you to discard 1 card and draw 2 is pretty great. Or just 3 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on your zombie army. And draw some cards. Nahiri's Stoneblades is not that exciting, but if we end up needing more random and non-creature spells, we could throw it in as a last resort. Alright, what do we have here? Several great red options, I think. Vraska's Finisher is good, but I think it's a bit weaker than the options we have in red. This is fun, being able to kill a Planeswalker after having only dealt 1 damage to it, or any creature, because there are some really big creatures in the format, especially in green. I think it's probably between Tibalt and Spellgorger Weird for me here. Tibalt, again, just getting multiple little devils is pretty solid, especially if we get any sacrifice kind of outlets. And Spellgorger Weird is great with a lot of non-creature spells, and it's not that hard to get them. Even with any Proliferate, it's good. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already have 6 non-creature spells. I do like the Spellgorger. I feel like it's probably not going to wheel, but it would be more likely to wheel than Tibalt, I think. I think the best color combination for Tibalt is red-black, so both Spellgorger Weird and Tibalt are very well positioned for this deck, so it is a pretty tough choice between those two. We have a Sorin's Thirst here to get another removal spell. However, all of our removal except Spark Harvest right now just does exactly 2 damage, which is a bit awkward. Just a lot of early game removal. Still seems solid though. Grim Initiate. I'm probably not taking that this early. Pretty small card, 1/1 that replaces itself though, which can be fine, especially if we get any sacrifice outlets. So Vraska's Finisher, Sorin's Thirst, maybe even a Blast Zone. This can just blow everything on the board up at whatever mana cost you choose, although it takes some time to do it. You know, I'll try a Blast Zone. We can definitely run a Blast Zone no matter what here. So we'll try it out, see how well that works out. Now we have... Ugin's Conjurant is actually pretty solid, just X mana for an XX. Whenever it's dealt damage, remove that many counters from it instead. So it is pretty good with Proliferate effects. We don't have any of those here, but it's still just, you know, a solid threat at whatever mana cost you need it at. And the red and black cards here aren't that awesome. I guess Burning Prophet would probably be pretty good here. We've seen how well this card can just go off in a deck with enough non-creature spells. Even just like a stack of removal, being able to constantly scry, make sure you're not hitting more land drops. This card is a lot more impressive than it looks at base level. Yeah, I guess I'll actually go with a Burning Prophet here. We've seen some opponents just absolutely destroying us with that kind of effect. I like Herald of the Dreadhorde here a lot. We may have been able to end up in a pretty decent Jund deck if we had taken the green-black removal spell that searches for a land, and then like a Leyline Prowler here. We would have multiple little mana-fixing cards. But I think I'm more prone to just take the Herald of the Dreadhorde here. Card's just pretty good. 4 mana for 3/2, amass 2 when it dies. Another Jaya's Greeting for that 3 damage removal. Tidebearer Giant as a nice late game card. Don't really have any good late game cards right now. We just have a Behemoth, which is pretty bad. I would say Tidebearer Giant's better than the Behemoth. That being said, Jaya's Greeting is powerful removal, and with Burning Prophet, we do want a lot of just good removal spells, and that could lend itself well to that kind of deck if we can pick up more Burning Prophets. Yeah, I think Jaya's Greeting is just quite good. Even though Tidebearer Giant is more of what we're missing out on right now, I think I'm still willing to take more Jaya's Greeting type cards. Toll of the Invasion, very solid card. Have liked this card basically every time I've cast it. 3 mana to look through your opponent's hand, make them discard their best card, and amass 1, get your zombie army. Solar Blaze, there's a Wrath effect here. Each creature deals damage to itself equal to its power, so it's a situational Wrath. Sometimes it doesn't kill everything. That could have some issues. I think I'm going to take another Burning Prophet now. I'm trying to lean into making that kind of card as powerful as possible. As I said, with like the last pick of Jaya's Greeting, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is also really good with cards like Honor the God Pharaoh and Toll of the Invader that are like creatures and non-creature spells. Yeah, we're going to be a Burning Prophet deck here. At least we'll try to be. Move all our non-creature stuff over. See how well that's going. Oh yeah, we are... we're all set up for a Burning Prophet deck, that's for sure. These are all non-creatures, but some of them make creatures and stuff. Here I'm just going to take another Sorin's Thirst. I'm not a fan of the other cards. They're just kind of expensive and not fantastic for what they're doing. Wow, so we have a Burning Prophet and a Spellgorger Weird still in this pack. Pick 9. We wield all of the great options. I'm going to go with the Spellgorger Weird here. Getting a permanent +1/+1 whenever you cast a non-creature spell is just wildly powerful, especially in the deck that we have right now where we have so many non-creature spells. So I'll take a Spellgorger here, but I'd be looking for any number of Burning Prophets in the deck we have going for us right now. Here we have Grim Initiate or Vraska's Finisher. That is going to be kind of a hard pick. We have Honor the God Pharaoh, Tibble. Kind of do have a lot at 3. I don't really think I'm looking for Grim Initiate though. We actually don't have any sacrifice outlets. I don't really like Davriel's Shadow Fugue. Just seems a little expensive for a discard spell, especially when there's really good ones like Toll of the Invasion we can pick up that are selective discard spells. Alright, let's head into the last pack here. Would love to get rewarded with a bomb rare, and we did. So, you know, it happens. Neheb Dreadhorde Champion, 4 mana for a 5/4 trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you may discard any number of cards to draw that many and add that much red mana for the rest of your turn. So Neheb, really solid. 4 mana for a 5/4 trample, already above curve. Plus this lets you discard whatever cards you don't need at the time to just draw a fresh hand. So that is great. We would love to wheel Angrath, but that seems pretty impossible to me. Angrath is a hybrid mana planeswalker, and it's a solid one at that. So Pretty sure this is going to get scooped up by anyone playing black or red at some point by the time this pack wheels. But we still got to go with Neheb. I think that's just such a solid rare there. A third Tybalt. That would be fun, but then we do start getting to the risk of dropping down a Tybalt and drawing a secondary one. Which, I guess that's not actually that bad, because you only have to use Tybalt's ability twice, and then Tybalt can't do anything anymore anyway if you don't have Proliferate in your deck, so you could just play Tybalt, minus it, next turn minus it again, and then cast your second Tybalt, so it's not really that bad to draw multiples of Tybalt. That being said, we could use like a Dread Malkin in this deck to sacrifice 1/1 zombie armies, sacrifice devil tokens. We don't have any sacrifice outlets yet, so this would be pretty solid. On-Crop Invader as well as a sacrifice outlet that attacks in very easily. I'm going to go with the Dread Malkin. We do have double Tybalt already, so I think I will go with that there. Burning Prophet or Toll of the Invasion. I'm going to go with Toll of the Invasion here. Based on the way that Pack 2 went, I think it's entirely possible we'll wheel this Burning Prophet. If we don't, that'll be a mild bummer, but I think I'm pretty fine with second Toll of the Invasion over Burning Prophet, over third Burning Prophet. Because I like this card a lot. Gives us a 1/1. We can sacrifice to Dread Malkin or gives us a non-creature spell for Burning Prophet. Just does a lot of good stuff. Now we have Aid the Fallen. We have double Tybalt for that. I don't know if that's enough Planeswalkers. This card isn't good unless you're really getting both of the triggers off, and you're getting both of them off often. I guess we have some irreplaceable creatures like Spellgorger Weird, that if that ever dies, we want to get it back. Command the Dreadhorde. Return any number of creatures and Planeswalkers in graveyards. This is very similar to Bolas's Citadel, where it can go poorly for us, but in the right situation, this will just absolutely demolish, absolutely devastate our opponent. Lazotep Reaver or Obnixlus's Cruelty. These are both very good. The 1/2 that comes with a 1/1 zombie army, or just puts a counter on it, or the Obnixlus's Cruelty, just a fantastic removal spell, -5/-5, and exile whatever you're targeting. These are both so good. It's kind of crazy. We do have a lot of removal. Not that much that actually kills stuff more than 3 toughness, though. Yeah, we'll go with the Obnixlus's Cruelty. I'll agree with the auto picker there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Arena. Oh, Arena. All right, well, this is going to be an awkward end to this draft. We're going to take a Spellgorger Weird here. Don't worry about the Bleeding Edge. Don't worry about the Bleeding Edge. We're going to take a Spellgorger Weird here. As I said before, we have tons and tons of non-creature spells, so this card is going to constantly get quite big and be very impressive. We're very happy to see that. Heartfire would be a good wheel. We've got a lot of things we could sacrifice to that to just be a 2 mana, 4 damage removal spell. Now we'll take Honor the God Pharaoh. Decent draw spell that also gives us a creature that doesn't count as a creature, so it triggers all our non-creature carrying stuff. Pick 8, we're going to take some garbage and not play it. Turret Ogre or Goblin Assailant. Guess I'll take a Turret Ogre, probably not playing it. Ooh, On-Crop Invader on the wheel, and we will probably actually play this. This is just a very hard card to block. First strike during your turn, and you can sacrifice a creature to give it +2/+0 till end of turn. Very good with the double Tybalt. We did wheel the Burning Prophet. Bam! Triple Burning Prophet, let's go. I was suspecting that with how late Burning Prophets were going earlier in the packs. Now we have Pyrohelix or Invading Manticore. We've got double Jaya's Greeting, double Sorin's Thirst. We have a lot of like 2 mana removal, so I'm gonna go with the Invading Manticore so we can have an actually like good card at the top end. Not like great, but definitely better than the other stuff we have going on, so we can cut, you know, Lazotep Behemoth or Chain Whip Cyclops, that kind of stuff. Alright, I still have the plus here. What is going on? Okay, good. It's gone. It's all been fixed. Okay. So we need to cut 8 cards to run a 40 card deck here. So Deliver Unto Evil, we have to treat this as like a 6 mana card, because we're just never using this till we have 4 things in our grave. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. If you have 2 or less cards in grave, you just pick them, and then your opponent says, all right, keep them in the grave. So you definitely want as many cards in grave as possible by the time you're doing that. So we have 2 Toll of the Invasion and 2 Honor the God Pharaoh, which are like creatures and non-creature spells at the same time. Same with Double Tybalt. We have Double Toll of the Invasion, which is a great discard spell, so I definitely am not looking for Shadow Fugue, I think, because we can just selectively discard with Tolls. 7 cards to cut here. Deliver Unto Evil definitely seems probably better in a more controlling deck, but it still seems fun to try out. It's got absolutely beautiful artwork. Command the Dreadhorde seems a little similar, but if we're on the aggressive, then that could still do some good things late game. So 15 creatures, 15 non-creatures, but 4 of our non-creatures are 3 mana 1/1s. Kind of 19 creatures right now. I think we can cut a couple of our like weakest creatures. Maybe cut a behemoth. Turd Ogre's not great here either. I don't think I'm cutting any of my cheap creatures. I guess Turd Ogre does give us some creature defense against flyers instead of just our removal spells, but we do have a lot of removal spells. We're doing great on that front. I guess, yeah, Deliver Unto Evil with how many cheap instants and sorceries we have, we could probably end up casting this like turn 6 and just being like, all right, I'm going to pick 4 removal spells. Give me 2 of them back. So yeah, I like Deliver Unto Evil here. Command the Dreadhorde. This is a really hard card to evaluate because it's such a double-edged sword here, such a risky card to play. But it can obviously be absolutely massive if you don't just die when you cast it. This is going to be a hard deck to make cuts of. We also have Bleeding Edge, which is another removal spell and creature at the same time. So these are all sort of creatures with good spell-like utility. And Tybalt as well gives us creatures. So I am actually feeling cutting the ogres, cutting the behemoth, and we still probably are good on creatures because of this stack here. They are all small creatures, though. Like, they're all 1/1s and a 2/2, but I think we'll still be fine. 4 cuts to go. Why do you have to cut cards? Why do we gotta go down to 40? Technically, we don't have to, but you always should to make your deck more consistently just the best cards for the deck. The problem is deciphering what the best cards for the deck are exactly. I'm kind of feeling with... I like that Sorin's Thirst gains this life, don't get me wrong, but with the amount of other removal that we have, the fact that this is a restrictive mana cost makes me feel like I want to cut this first, because this does 2 damage at 2 mana, but it's a restrictive cost. We do gain 2 life off of it, but Jaya's Greeting, we have 2 of these that do 3 damage at 2 mana with an easier mana cost and allow us to scry 1. We then have Obnixlus's Cruelty at 3 to give -5/-5. We have Bleeding Edge at 3 to give -2/-2 and Amass 2. I think I'm going to cut the Sorin's Thirsts. And then we need to cut 2 more cards. This is the part I didn't think through. Still need to cut 2 more cards. Can't just cut the 2 Sorin's Thirsts and call it a day. Maybe I could cut a land or 2. Our curve, I'm gonna guess, is average 3.0, because we have a million 3s. Average 2.9. Hey, not as bad as I thought. I could see cutting one of our 6s in a land, but I just don't know with this Command the Dreadhorde card. This is just such a complex, swingy effect to evaluate. It does get cards back from your opponent's graveyard too, which is pretty insane. I want to cast this card. I want to cast this card at least like once. So, but I also want to cast Deliver Unto Evil. The Deliberation is going to go hardcore here. As always, there are descriptions in... there are timestamps in the description below to skip past the deck building, get straight to the gameplay, and swap between rounds, because I'm really beating my head against the wall here. I don't know for sure what to do. This is definitely a draft where, if I weren't recording right now and I had time, I might just stop here, take a screen cap, see if I can get, see if I can get some recommendations on Twitter, send it to, Limited Resources, Ben Stark, all that. See if they have any thoughts. What are the last two cuts here? That is the question. Maybe we even just cut Deliver and Command the Dread Horde. Probably not. How's our mana looking? We've got 11 black symbols, 14 red symbols. 1 double black card, that's Bleeding Edge. 2 Bleeding Edge and Command the Dread Horde. Command the Dread Horde costs 6 though, so by the time we have 6 mana, we're likely to have 2 swamps, even if we are cutting swamps here. Bleeding Edge. We might not hit the second swamp 4 in time though. Especially if we cut another here. In red, we have a double red at 4, but we have a lot of like 2, 3 mana red cards, so we could be trying to cast 2 red cards in one turn, so I think I'm more prone to cutting 1 swamp than 1 mountain. And then we get to cut 1 more card. I guess I'm gonna cut Deliver Unto Evil, and we might just swap between Deliver Unto Evil and Command the Dread Horde based on based on if Command the Dread Horde was good or bad in the last game every time, because they're kind of similar roles. They're both cards that we play very late in the game that give us some good good card advantage, good value. I don't know. We're gonna run with this Rakdos non-creature spell deck. See how things go. All right, round 1. Fight. Well, we've got our removal, that's for sure. We got an on-crop invader turn 3. We got 4 mana, 2 of each color. Definitely not mulliganable. We can cast anything we draw into, because we have the double available. Can slow down an aggressive opponent. Just need to not draw exclusively lands from this point on, and I think this hand should be perfectly serviceable. Probably shouldn't have said anything. 2 lands down, now we can cast everything in our deck. We do have 1 6-mana spell. We are ready. Toll of the Invasion. Don't look at it. It's embarrassing. Probably getting rid of Cruelty here. Unless they don't have removal spells and they just get rid of Invader. I suppose it depends on what creatures they have in their hand. If everything they have in their hand is 3 or less toughness, they might as well just kill Jaya's Greeting, because I could kill something and scry 1 off that, whereas Obnexus, I just kill something. Alright, so they get rid of Jaya's Greeting, and we're just going to drop Spellgorger Weird, because that was a beautiful draw. On-Crop Invader is not going to do much work on this board. Obviously, we don't have anything to sacrifice to its ability, so it's just a 2-2 with First Strike during our turn, whereas Spellgorger Weird can get bigger, especially with the Obnexus' Cruelty to Caster's removal spell to back it up. There's no way I am blocking that. If it was all a ruse, then congratulations, we have taken an additional damage. What are these sleeves? Oh, they're like, oh, they're the superhero or Johnny or whatever. Oh my god, we just drew another Spellgorger Beard. Seems good. They know if they block here, I get to kill both their creatures, so they probably don't block. Maybe they just want to get Obnex's Cruelty out of the way for their next card. Alright, well, I was hoping for no block there, but this is fine. The idea behind the attack is they know I can just wipe their board. So they would probably just not attack, or not block, so that they could just get aggressive back into me, because they're winning that race. And then I would just get a free extra 2 damage in and drop a Spellgorger Weird. But my opponent definitely just wanted to slow me down there. Get my -5/-5 removal out of the way. Jaya's greeting on the Spellgorger Weird. Sad day. I'm kind of drawing an insane amount of creatures for how many non-creatures my deck has. But I'll take it. A 4/5 is good in this position, especially one that comes with a 2/2. Well, this is definitely a game where Command the Dreadhorde would do some pretty insane things. I'm at 19 life still, so I could bring back Finisher, Invader, Weird. Electromancer is a very powerful card as well. 4/2 comes to play, does 3 damage to one of my things because they have 3 instant sorceries in grave. That would be a card that'd be sweet in our deck as well. So, cast 2 things here. They could double block to kill my Manticore. They lose a 4/2 and a 1/1. I don't think I like that attack. I think I just attack with the 2/2. I do like dropping Tybalt and Invader here.
I would be honored to break your mind.
With Tybalt and Invader on this board, I can sacrifice a creature, sacrificing a devil to deal 1 damage to any target, and then I can destroy whatever I targeted with Vraska's Finisher, so it's a really good setup for next turn to be able to kill whatever creature I need, even before attacks, get a blocker out of the way, all of that. So really nice 3-card combo here, Invader plus Tybalt plus Finisher. Our opponent does have the card advantage. They've still got 5 cards in hand here. If their best play is to just play like 1 big creature, that would be the best case scenario for us, because that's what our hand is good at dealing with Vraska's Finisher. But if they just play like a Lazatep Reaper and Spark Reaper or something, just a couple solid 2/3 mana creatures, we're not going to have a great time because it's going to be hard to send in. Spark Harvest, sacrifice the 1/1 to kill the 4/5, sure. Dreadhorde Twins, this card is pretty insane, right? Yeah, 4 mana for a 2/2 and another 2/2. Gives their zombie army trample. Don't want to discard Finisher here, I think. I think I gotta just hold on to this Honor the God Pharaoh.
My assistants are painfully sloppy.
On-Crop Invader attacks in very well, so we just get some free damage in here. Do I want to do any extra damage here? I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Do 8 damage, plus 2 to the face. I could do 10 damage here, put him to 3. That'd be cool, but I don't think it's all that necessary. I think I do want to keep blockers for their field. Every single one of my blockers is good at blocking their stuff. put this on the Trampler, these two on the non-Tramplers. Just wipe the whole field if they attack. Could Vraska's finisher for no value here. Could also sacrifice a Devil now and then kill Electromancer with finisher. I suppose if the plan was to actually finish something here, we should have sacrificed a Devil during combat. Might as well have got 2 more damage in. It is too late to do that, but I think it's probably still the play to actually finish something with the finisher. Force the trade. But I definitely missed out on a couple damage there. That's not a reason to not cast the finisher at all. Honor the Godpharaoh from our opponent makes their zombie army a 3/3 now, and they draw 2 more cards. The only life gain I could see them having is Sorin's Thirst, so if they want to attack Tybalt with their 3/3 zombie army, I'm just gonna let it happen. I don't see any reason to leave Tybalt on this board. We don't have Proliferate or anything. Alright, they were hovering over them both, so they were considering it, but decided otherwise, just gonna hold up the blockers. We are going to honor the Godpharaoh main phase 1, see if we draw it into something like a Bleeding Edge to get another blocker out of the way before I go into combat. Toll of the Invasion. That does make our zombie army a 4/4. We also have another Tybalt. Making it a 4/4, it still dies if they double block and I only kill one thing, because I don't have enough mana to like sacrifice a Devil in response to them blocking. So I think I just go to combat here, and then if I need to spend any mana using like On-Crop Invader's ability, I can. And if I don't, I'll just Toll the Invasion main phase 2. Alright, so looks like I will need to spend the mana here. Sacrifice the Devil token, I think. That is leaving no blockers up if they have a haste creature. But I think I want Dreadhorde Twins and Finisher to just trade. And I want to get in 3 damage there. We'll see what their response is here. Up next was his cruelty to just kill the invader. Okay. Wait till combat so that I have to sacrifice something for it. Yeah, this is still not bad at all. 19-7. I think we're still firmly in the driver's seat. Our opponent's deck is very solid, doing very much the same thing as us. Just a big old stack of instant sorcery removal and some cards that get value off of it, like Cyclops Electromancer. We, of course, have double Spellgorger Weird and triple the 2-mana thing that I forgot the name of, Burning Prophet, as our cards that reward us for how our deck is built. Spark Reaper, very solid card, and a land, no attacks. Toll the Invasion to see the last thing in their hand. It's probably just another land, but I also do get to turn my zombie army into a 4/4. Again, that doesn't actually help because they can still just double block and kill it. But now I could kill their Spark Reaper if they double block. That's probably pretty important. Let's see what's in their hand. Hopefully it's actually something that would be good for us, unless it's like Jaya's Greeting and they just kill something in response. Nope, just a land, sure. Toll the Invasion wasn't going to do anything for the rest of this game regardless. The only thing they would possibly hold on to would be like a removal spell. And I think they would just cast it at that point. So the reason I'm making this attack here is because I think that in a game that's gotten down to a top deck war like this, it's just incredibly important to kill that Spark Reaper, because otherwise everything they have that just like amasses one is drawing them another card. They can just sacrifice that and then just start going off, really winning the top deck war. Do I cast another Tybalt here? I do get a Devil. If they attack in, I can Trump Block with the Devil, put them down to 6. I don't think I cast another Tybalt here, because I don't think I would want to block if they attack. They have another Spark Reaper or Life Gain spell here. I guess now there's no reason not to attack, because I don't have any creatures on board. But I'll probably just attack my face, but I of course know what's in this deck. I know we don't have any Proliferate or anything. And our opponent doesn't know that, so they could definitely be under the assumption that we do. But yeah, like seeing this here, I'm definitely very happy with the choice I made to just kill Spark Reaper.
I adore your enthusiasm.
Like, I guess they couldn't be attacking in here if I still had a 4/4, but the problem is, if I didn't kill the Spark Reaper, they drew into Grim Initiate, so they just draw 2 cards, gain 2 life. So then they're just incredibly firmly winning the top deck war. Like, not only did they just top deck Grim Initiate, then they're drawing extra cards. Spark Harvest? Well, we're gonna kill that 4/4 then. Definitely not sacrificing a creature for it. Drop down this Burning Prophet so I can attack with that next turn as well. The invasion on our mountains. Jai's Greeting. With the Burning Prophet on board, I do want to do that. Get in for 1 more damage here. Scry 1. Or actually, Scry 2, I guess. Definitely keeping Lazatep Reaver, because it's another creature. Another 2 creatures to be exact, to make it pretty easy to hit lethal next turn, or the next couple turns. Actually, the Devil token really helps with that. They're down to 2. Even if the Devil token dies, they take a damage. So if they play any creature, no matter how big, they could block Burning Prophet, take 1, next turn I attack with the Devil token and just kill him when it dies. Alright. That was a solid start to the gameplay. Very intense game, ending in a top deck war there. I do want to take another look at this deck. I did feel early on in the game we were drawing a boatload of creatures. I just want to make sure that I have enough non-creature spells to combo with Spellgorger, Burning Prophet type stuff, because I might want to cut another creature here, maybe throw in a Sorin's Thirst or something. Or throw Deliver Unto Evil back in. That was definitely a game where Deliver Unto Evil would have been actually pretty solid. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 non-creatures. I feel like I'm good on that front, but at the same time, Deliver Unto Evil does seem fun, so I'm going to throw that in, and maybe I will cut one of my most mediocre creatures. None of my creatures at this point are mediocre, except for Invading Manticore. I do like having at least something as a really big creature, but then I guess like our big plays are Deliver Unto Evil and Command the Dreadhorde instead. I like the Lazatep Reaver giving us multiple blockers for cheap, plus good with the Dread Malkin. Good with the other Amass, obviously. Would I cut another land here? Probably not. Let's cut... Oh, God. I want to try this Deliver Unto Evil so bad. Guess let's cut a Manticore. I left the parallax style on. I'm disappointed in myself. I completely forgot to shut off the 3D effect. I'll just deal with it. We can live a lavish life for a second. Alright, so here we are. Heading into round 2. Pretty terrible hand. I guess if I draw one land of any kind, Honor the God Pharaoh does really get me there. Burning Prophet on board means I scry 1, then I discard 1, draw 2. Going down a card, especially on the play, is a big downside in Limited. We just need 1 land in the next 2 draw steps. Got like a 42% chance of land. We get to do that twice. I can wait a minute with Burning Prophet. This is, I don't know. It's a bold keep. It's a bold keep for sure. But we just need 1 land to be just completely in this game, I feel. And there you have it. I think I actually discard Dread Malkin. It just costs a lot of mana to do that kind of stuff. Maybe even play Burning Prophet first here. Then we can see what we draw next turn. If we draw a 4th mountain, we can just discard that to the Honor of the God Pharaoh instead. And now we scry 2 as well. Playing against red-green gruel stuff. Living Twister, don't play that against me. I drafted Living Twister, that's my card. Alright, well, we really need a swamp for this Obnixilus's Cruelty, but if we hit it, we'll be fine. I think I am discarding Dread Malkin, because if we hit a swamp, we just want to play the Herald. And I have Deliver Unto Evil later that could get us there. Well, we're scrying that to the top twice, so no value off the scry there, but that is what we needed to hit, so at least there's that. Get to kill it next turn with Obnixilus's Cruelty. And the only thing they can kill is our 1/1, because these have 3 toughness. So unless, I guess if they play another land and then they discard 2 lands, they can kill 1 of our Burning Prophets. Seems like an unlikely scenario. They need to have 6 lands in their hand already. Well, need to have drawn 6 lands already, I mean. They can discard 1 here. That's not going to be enough. We're just going to Obnixilus's Cruelty. They only have double red up, so they shouldn't have anything to increase its toughness. I'm going to do it pre-combat so I get to attack in with my double Burning Prophets. Ooh, Neheb. You stay right there, my friend. You stay right there. I'm actually going to keep this swamp because I might end up just discarding it to another Honor the God Pharaoh then. Guess they did not have another land to use on my 1/1 there. So we'll poke in for 2. Chandra's Pyrohelix it is, to kill 1 of our Burning Prophets. Raging Crunch can't attack alone, and it's a 4/3. We already have 4 cards in our grave. Deliver Unto Evil is already active. I was probably heavily undervaluing that earlier. I think I am glad to have it in the deck. Let's play Neheb here. Hope Neheb does not die. If they want to attack with Rage and Crunch, they have to attack with Snare Spinner as well, and Snare Spinner does not attack well, so I just don't think that's happening. We get to cast Honor the God Pharaoh, turn our 1/1 into a 2/2 and discard this mountain to draw 2. Or we can play a Herald of the Dreadhorde. If I attack in, we just trade with Crunch. That doesn't seem that great. Yeah, I think I do want to just draw some more cards here right now. Blast Zone. 3-drop, 3-drop, 2-drop, 2-drop, 1-drop, 4-drop. If I can get Blast Zone to 3, I can destroy 2 of their things and none of mine. And to get it to 3, I just need to put 2 charge counters on it. So I spend 4, tap it. It'll take a couple turns, but it'll be a 2-for-1. I'll keep it. We'll see what else we draw. Command the Dreadhorde. Okay, we're still at 20. So next turn I play Blast Zone, throw 2 charge counters on it. For now, do I just play this Swamp so they don't know Blast Zone's coming as quickly? I guess. Doesn't enter tapped, right? Yeah, it doesn't enter tapped. No attacks. With Command the Dreadhorde coming up, like, if they send in, we can trade really anything we want. We'll just end up getting it back next turn if a bunch of stuff trades, and if a bunch of stuff doesn't trade, we just play Blast Zone, pass turn, set it up to do the 2-for-1. Spellgorge are weird, and Rage and Crunch are coming in. I guess I'll set up for a Command the Dreadhorde then instead here. Even if they have a non-creature spell, we'll still kill here unless it's a burn spell. Even if it is a burn spell, we'll just Command the Dreadhorde to bring things right back. Actually, it's probably better to do... That's literally what I just did. To do that. Because that's better if they don't have something. Because then Neheb just kind of chills. They have to throw burn at Neheb to kill Neheb. Because if they play 1 non-creature spell, then the weird is just a 3/3. Yeah, we'll do that. We also have 5 toughness blocking the 4-power creature, so if it is a burn spell or a pump spell and they throw it on the weird, we only lose 1 creature to kill the Crunch. We'll see what it is here. Opponent's definitely thinking it out. They don't have any permanents in their grave yet, so nothing fancy for us to command. But hopefully after this combat, there's something in there. Jaya's Greeting. Do they have 2 spells here? That would do it. Chandra's Triumph. Okay. So Crunch survives to live another day, but that is it. And I can command the Dreadhorde here, or just play a 3/2. 3/2 blocks the Crunch fine. Even if they kill it, I can chump block. Give myself some more time. But if I command the Dreadhorde, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10, 11, 12. I could just go to 8 and have a gigantic field. They have 3 cards in hand. I'm probably supposed to command the Dreadhorde here, but I'm just going to get greedy. Because even if they use a removal spell on the Herald, I'll just trump block with the Amass token now and then command next turn and go to like 4. Bring back the Herald as well. There's just a ridiculous amount of greed flowing through my veins right now. I can feel it overwhelming me. Arlen's Wolf, sure. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so it can be blocked by a Herald of the Dreadhorde. Spark Harvest is the draw. If I deliver unto evil here, what are my best gets? Honor the God Pharaohs, Obnixious Cruelty, Neheb. They probably keep Neheb and Cruelty in the grave, and I don't get anything that great back then if I deliver here. Don't really want to Spark Harvest either. Yeah, let's just command. Greetings. The board has returned. We only have one creature that can block the wolf, and we're at 8 life, so I'm not going to attack it with Herald. We can only block the wolf with Neheb and the Herald right now. So if I attack with the Herald and they have a removal spell for Neheb, then I go to like 5, and that's pretty bad for me. Alright, Jaya's Greeting, we can kill the wolf with that, so now we're safe on that front. It makes the Prophets bigger, Spellgorger Weird bigger, I get to scry 1. They have 2 3-drops. Do I have any 3-drops? I do. I have their Spellgorger Weird. They have a 6-drop. I'm trying to see for Blast Zone if there's anything I can do here. They have a 2-drop. Do I have any 2-drops? Yes. Alright, there's nothing I can really do with Blast Zone right now. So I think... maybe I deliver onto Evil and just pick all non-creature spells? Oh, I can't do that right now. I gotta Jaya's Greeting first and then deliver onto Evil. We just start setting up to make Spellgorger Weird, like, really big. Yeah, I'm kind of shook, so I'm going to kill Arlen's Wolf. Throw that Swamp on the bottom. Tybalt, you can stay. Play Tybalt next turn. Two, three, four. Yep, I can deliver onto Evil now if I want. If I play a land, I can Spark Harvest without losing a creature, though, so I could also just do that. Alright. Yeah, there's the concession. That was just Command the Dread Horde. Doing Command the Dread Horde things. Alright, well... I am happy to have Command the Dread Horde in this deck. The worst case scenario for that card has not shown up yet. We've gotten pretty much exclusively the best case scenario out of it. Just always being at a high life total these games. Haven't cast the Deliver Unto Evil yet, but I did think that was a game where it would have been really good, because even if the cards it returned were mediocre, they would be multiple non-creature spells, so we'd be getting more counters on our Spellgorger Weird and scrying with the Burning Prophets. Alright, well, this is definitely some awkward draws, but if I draw any kind of burn spell, I get to scry 3. And really dig for the black mana. Oh my god. Alright, hello. Greetings and salutations, my mountain friend. Opponent is on green-blue, and they start off with a Crunch Wrangler. Green-blue does get access to a lot of +1/+1 counter stuff. Power 4 greater is the main theme with Kiora. And they have Proliferate to expand the number of counters on all their stuff. Toll of the Invasion would be beautiful if I had black mana. Erratic Visionary is their next play. Definitely a card I am a big fan of now that I used it in my last draft, in draft number 2, the blue-black deck. That was a very solid card. Really sets up your draws throughout the game, so you're always drawing better than your opponent. Because you draw twice as many cards and just get rid of the bad ones, like Return to Nature. That does not do anything against my deck. I guess it could stop me from getting one thing back with Deliver Unto Evil, or God, I don't know why I'm forgetting its name. Command the Dread Horde. That is it. I'm just going to hold on to these lands at this point. Because I do have Honor the God Pharaohs I'd like to discard these two, and even if I drop a swamp, I can't cast 2 things in one turn because I'll only have 1 black mana anyway, so another mountain doesn't help me right now whatsoever. Jaya's Greeting doesn't help a ton because I can't kill Word Scale Crocodile with that, but I do get to kill the Wrangler and scry 3. Because I scry 2 off of these Prophets and 1 off of Jaya's Greeting. These also go to 2 3s, so I could block Crocodile to kill it with one of them and the 1/1. That does seem good. I am going to go ahead and probably set up a Jaya's Greeting block here. And we can dig pretty far looking for that first swamp. Another Ward Scale Crocodile. Alright, that card is going to be pretty solid against me. I guess just the Vraska's finisher is big enough to block it though, so if they don't put any +1/+1 counters on it or anything, I'll be fine. Ooh, send in the squad, I see. Definitely kill Wrangler here while they're tapped out. Get that mountain out of here. Keep that swamp. Alright. So, I could kill their Erratic Visionary without losing a creature. That does seem good, so they can't draw discard for the rest of this game. But I don't have... I was going to say, then I won't have a target for Obnixlus's Cruelty, so I can't play Obnixlus's Cruelty and block a Crocodile next turn. That would just mean next turn I play a Vraska's finisher and try to block trade with one of the 5/3s. That plays very poorly if they have anything to put +1/+1 counters on their Crocodile. I kind of think I have to just kill a Crocodile now. I don't really want to, but I think I have to. I do have 6 toughness, so I only lose one of these. Then I could Cruelty a Visionary, double block a Crocodile if they have nothing still. Because, yeah, a 2/3 Prophet and a 1/1 Prophet will trade into a Crocodile. So we play Swamp, pass. If they don't have anything to put counters on their creatures and they go for the attack with the Crocodile, I can just kill the Crocodile now. Well, that's very bad news. Basically just lose to this -3 for sure. I need to Vraska's finisher that as soon as possible. Because now they just keep bringing back Ward Scale Crocodiles. If they just use the +1 for a while, I might be able to kill that before it does anything actually important. The +1 isn't likely to hit a card for them. If it does, it'll be bad news, but if it doesn't, we're fine. Yeah, so the +1, they have to name a card, look at the top 4. If it's in there, they put it into their hand. Otherwise, they just throw everything in the grave. So just +1 to mill yourself for. And our Boreal Grazer coming out. Please attack with that Ward Scale Crocodile. Okay. So now I'm at the awkward position where if I kill this Ward Scale Crocodile, if I Obnixlus's Cruelty Visionary and kill Ward Scale Crocodile, I don't have enough creatures to attack and kill Tamiyo, and I think it's probably more important to kill Tamiyo than Ward Scale Crocodile right now, because I can kill Tamiyo with Finisher's Enter the Battlefield effect, and then block Crocodile with Finisher next turn. Because if I make the block on Crocodile, I lose my whole board. I don't have anything to attack Tamiyo with. I only have to hit Tamiyo for 1 thanks to Vraska's Finisher, so I have to just hold off here. I guess I do need to draw a Swamp. That is a really awkward part. I need to draw another Swamp in order to kill Tamiyo. Actually, no, I don't, because I can Cruelty during their turn. So I probably should have Crueltied before blocks, just in case I drew something that would make me want to block here. Spellgorger weird. Does that make me want to block? I spend 3 use play Spellgorger, spend 3 play Finisher. No, that doesn't. The only thing that would make me want to block is if I drew, like, Spark Harvest, maybe. Alright, yeah, so now they only have 1 creature to block with, so we get to kill Tamiyo. Definitely need to kill Tamiyo, so they can't just keep returning things from grave.
I guess you do not want to talk. I have learned all I can.
And now we play Spellgorger weird. Now, hopefully, we can just trade Finisher into Crocodile, and then we're just doing swell, because then we're just going to keep scrying with Spellgorger. Spark Harvest? It was 1 turn later. Oh, we would have to sacrifice. Actually, Spark Harvest wouldn't have done it, so I'm glad that we didn't have Spark Harvest, because I might have messed up. If we drew Spark Harvest, I might have messed up. Because Spark Harvest, we have to sacrifice a creature to cast it, because we only have 1 black. Wow, that was a good tool of the invasion. And Tameo makes it so you can't sacrifice stuff. Oh, wait, no. It's only them. They can't sacrifice stuff, but we still can. I guess I get to attack with Finisher now, and if they attack with Crocodile, I can just chump. Probably going to Spark Harvest Crocodile. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Crocodile has Hexproof. But I could trade it with Spellgorger Weird. Wouldn't really want to do that. I think I'm just trumping if they attack, and then that lets the entire rest of my field attack at them. Burning Prophet is such a good card because we're just scrying every turn. It's very similar to their Erratic Visionary. So now, because we still have one of those kind of cards out, we just get to keep drawing gas. Again, I think I'm just attacking with Finisher. Do need to draw land, though, to cast this Honor of the God Pharaoh. I am not going to discard a Spark Harvest. Neheb. Get in here, my big friend. Now I am fine with trading the Weird. Probably should have just been attacking with the Weird as well this whole time. As fun as it is to make it as big as possible, if I kill Ward Scale Crocodile, I don't need Spellgorger Weird on this board. I can just attack with all these 1-power creatures as well. Another counterspell, but we have the 2 mana, so it will not work out this late in the game. They do get a 2/2 out of it, though, which can trade up into the Finisher if I keep trying to attack with that. But they are going to scoop him up there. And that will push us up into Diamond. Hey, that's pretty nice. Diamond tier 4 here. Always like to try to hit Mythic each month. I have hit Mythic in January and February, so that will definitely help us get there this month as well. A little over halfway through the month, I think we can get there. So 3 wins and no losses here. This is pretty solid Rakdos deck. I am definitely liking the Burning Prophet a lot. That card has been putting in a ton of work. It looks so unassuming, but when you play with it or against it a bit, it becomes pretty clear how powerful just the amount of scry you can get off of it is. Alright, let's head into round 4. I only need to win 1 more game to be pretty happy here, and pretty much no matter how many times I lose from now on, I'm happy because we made it into Diamond off this draft. No matter what happens, they can't take that away from us. And this is one of the best hands we've had so far. I think we actually have both colors. We have turn 2 Prophet into turn 3 Spellgorger Weird. We get to try to start going off with our burn spells after that, and that could be very fun. We even have double Spellgorger Weird if our opponent is on a slower deck and we don't need to Jaya's Greeting immediately. Opponent's on red-blue, so maybe another Burning Prophet kind of deck. Red-blue has a lot of stuff that's good with non-creature spells, Sky Theater Strix being another one. Not as good as the Burning Prophet because it doesn't scry, but this is evasive, so it can kill your stuff like your Planeswalkers like Tibalt. Definitely not dropping Tibalt out right now, especially because I also get more counters from casting Tibalt after my Spellgorger Weirds. Maybe should have attacked with Prophet first. They might have not blocked, just in case I had some kind of instant speed draw spell or something. I feel like they probably blocked, but I could have snuck in a damage there potentially, so Burning Prophet wasn't doing anything on blocks for us, so I probably should have done that. I think I want to kill Burning Prophet before they can scry at all. At the same time, I'm only 1 mana away, or 1 turn away from playing Spellgorger Weird and Jaya's Greeting with 2 Weirds out. It might be worth the extra counter. It might be worth the wait. You know what I'll do? I'll attack with all, and if they happen to block my Weird with their Prophet, I'll go ahead and Jaya's Greeting their Sky Theater Strix and kill it that way. If they don't block at all, then yeah, I'll just play another Spellgorger Weird. next turn we'll go for that Jaya's Greeting. But they may not have a Spellgorger Weird of their own, so they might just go for the Jaya's Greeting right now on one of my Spellgorger Weirds, and then it wouldn't matter that I'd have another. Rouse Outburst it is. Very powerful card. 3 damage to one of them, and they get to draw a card out of like the top 3. Well, we're definitely killing Burning Prophet this turn. We're going to play Tybalt and Jaya's Greeting, unless we draw into something better. We'll see where they want to scry. Scry to the bottom, it seems. They've drawn 1 card out of their top 2. Ooh, we have another Jaya's Greeting now as well. It's pretty good. Do I want to just double Jaya's Greeting? If I play Tybalt now, Tybalt goes down to 3 when I make a devil. Yeah, Tybalt... If they play 1 non-creature spell, then Tybalt doesn't get to make 2 devils. I do lose value there by only getting 1 devil out of Tybalt. So I guess I will just Jaya's Greeting twice here, get as much damage as possible. Vraska's Finisher doesn't play particularly well with Tybalt because I won't have 6 mana up, so I will throw that on the bottom. I'm going to be scrying enough that I think I can afford to scry away cards that are decent to look for something better. I'm going to do this again, get as much damage in as possible. Yeah, and there we go. Herald of the Dreadhorde I think is better than the Vraska's Finisher right now. Since I can't cast Tybalt and Vraska's Finisher in the same turn anyway, we can cast just Tybalt or Herald instead of Tybalt or Finisher. Hit 7 here, put them down to 10. They're at 5 mana. What we play will depend on what they play. Honor the Godfarer. They just get a 1/1 and draw a couple cards. And Sky Theater Strix flyer again, so they could just nuke Tybalt yet again. If I play Tybalt, Spellgorger Weird is a 5/5, and they're at 10 life, and Burning Prophet's a 2/3 on attacks here. I get to scry 1 when I cast Tybalt. They're at a low enough life total, it's probably worth just dumping out Tybalt, especially if I draw another Tybalt. These devil tokens are going to be very good when they're at a low life total like they are.
They're so cute.
And they are probably getting spicy on Tybalt next turn with the Sky Theater Strix. Actually, if they do that, they don't have a chump blocker for Spellgorger Weird. They have to play a non-creature spell, attack Tybalt with Sky Theater Strix, and get another blocker. So it's entirely possible the Strix even just has to chump block the Spellgorger Weird. Blind Blast. Deal 1 to something and draw a card. Alright, well, we'll deal 1 to their face. Put them down to 7. They put Tybalt down to 1. See what they have for a blocker here. Maybe another Honor the Godfarer. No blocker yet. I'm going to go for this. This would be lethal. With just the plus triggers, even if they counter Tybalt, it'll be lethal if they don't have instant speed removal or something. Choose the legendary permanent keep. I'm going to keep the 5 loyalty. Wonder what their instant is here. For 3 mana, I don't think there's an instant speed bounce spell in this format, except for Totally Lost, which costs 5, but I could be wrong. There's definitely like Jaya's Greeting to kill Burning Prophet here, just take 6, go to 1, but then they die to the 1/1. Ooh, they do have a 1/1 flash with Lazatep Plating. They are still down to 5 here. And I do have quite the board. And they are going to scoop him up there. So one thing I didn't mention there because I was going through multiple things at once. I did scry away a Lazatep Reaver, which would have been a fine draw. Again, the reason I did that is because I only have 1 black mana right now anyway, so I already know that my next turn play is just going to be the 3/2 that amasses 2 when it dies, if I draw into Lazatep Reaver, so I would rather scry that away and potentially draw into something that I could double spell or something more powerful. If I had like double swamp right there, I'd probably just keep Lazotep Reaver so I could just dump out both of those and make the board as big as possible. Anyways, that does lead us into 4-0, 1,400 gems and 3 packs. Looks like it's time to resign because we've gotten our value. No, that's not how we're gonna roll here. But 4 wins, definitely happy at that. As I said before, we made it into diamonds. Pretty pumped about this. Has been a pretty great draft. This format's been pretty refreshing, pretty cool stuff. Definitely can be quite bomby. I think our first draft was the most bomby in terms of what we did and what our opponents did. But definitely some cool stuff. I have had mana issues in basically every single draft though. Mainly just these last two, this one and the blue-black deck. Actually, no, it was every single draft, because even in the green deck, I had several like cards that had any color, and I drew just a million forests in a couple games. I don't know if I can keep this. I know I have on-crop invader turn 3. If I draw a single swamp, I've got a lot of gas, but that's not like if I draw one land of any kind, I'm good. It's if I draw specifically a swamp. I'm gonna mulligan this one, and we are rewarded with a better hand. I'm going to keep 6 and actually get rid of a land here. The reason being I can still cast Double Prophet and then Jaya's Greeting, and I'm only 1 mana off from being able to cast anything in this hand. So if I don't draw land for a little while, we're just going to set up 2 Prophets and then Jaya's Greeting. We're going to scry 3 when we cast 1 Jaya's Greeting, and that should absolutely hit our 3rd land, statistically speaking. Did draw another 2-drop, so that is good. Gives us more to do even if we don't hit that 3rd land. Gateway Plaza from our opponent. Ooh, this is going to be one of the very splashy multicolored decks where they just drafted every bomb planeswalker. Could be cool. Could also just be 3-color, just like blue-red splashing in green or green-red splashing in blue. I don't know why I'm just automatically thinking it's going to be red. But that's just where my mind's at right now because I've got a lot of red stuff. So War Screecher, that is annoying. I can Jaya's Greeting that away to hit them for 4 and scry 3. Or I could just play a land till the invasion attack for 2 here. I think I want to just get that out of the way, pushing as much damage as possible here. Dreadmalkin? Nah, get out of here. Spellgorger Weird? Yes, you stay. You stay, my friend. You are a very good card. So we hit for 4 here. Probably just casting Spellgorger Weird next turn, but we might do a Toll of the Invasion. 3 mana for our opponent. We know that they're blue and white. They're definitely blue if they've got double island, and they're definitely white if they cast a white spell. Augur of Bolas. This card doesn't hit super often, but we'll see if they get lucky here. Like, even our deck where we have like 12 non-creature spells, we have like 8 instants or sorceries or something, that's not likely to hit often off of Augur. They did hit a Callous Dismissal though, so that's pretty good. Kind of want to Toll and just get rid of that thing because it's annoying. Yeah, let's Toll here and see what else is in their hand. 4th mana. I do have Command the Dreadhorde coming up. That should be very solid, so I'll keep the mana. Let's see what they have. Oh my god. Alright, Huatli to deal life equal to toughness. Or deal damage equal to toughness. That makes Augur a 3/3, Law Reinforcer a 2/2. Tamio's Epiphany, Jace's Triumph, just a ton of draw spells. They have a 5 mana removal spell, a Grateful Apparition to proliferate. Kind of want to get rid of Huatli. Just seeing what we have for command. Callous Dismissal is the most annoying thing, that's for sure, but if they play Huatli, I just can't attack in anymore, and they get to start attacking us. Block 1 thing, take 2 here. Now that I've seen their hand, I'm definitely less excited about the Command the Dread Horde. There's just not going to be a lot of good things in the grave. They just don't have any good cards, and I honestly don't either. None of mine are going to really die super often either. This is definitely going to be a game where we cast a lot of powerful non-creature spells, like draw spells and stuff. A bunch of mediocre creatures. At least that is how it has been thus far. I think I just play a Spellgorger Weird and pass. Don't think I'm Lazotep Reavering here. It'll make my zombie army a 2/2. Just not going to do anything. Just attacks into the Augur Bolas and does not succeed. I guess if I have 3 creatures with enough toughness to attack into their field, that I could attack all 3, but then they could just double block the 1/1, so... Or double block the 2/2 at that point. It would let me sneak in for 2, if they choose to do that instead of tapping a thing down. They probably wouldn't do that. I think they'll just keep using the Enforcer. Grateful Apparition. Nothing to proliferate onto yet, but if they cast a Callous Dismissal, they will have a zombie army. And here's a Blast Zone that does start at 1. I have nothing that costs 1. They have a Larun Enforcer, so I can just kill their Larun Enforcer with that if I want. Also does put me 1 mana away from Command the Dreadhorde, but again, this is a horrible game for Command the Dreadhorde. There's a worse creature in Huatli and Graves, that's it. I don't think I'm going to use Blast Zone here, so I'll just play a Lazotep Reaver. We can't really attack in. They can Larun Enforcer down the Spellgorger Weird, and then we have 2 1/3s to attack with. And a 2/2, but probably not worth it. We do sneak in 1 damage. The only way they kill something is if they double block my 2/2, and then I do get to kill Grateful Apparition. They're going to get a zombie army, so yeah, it's actually probably worth getting 1 point of damage in. Unless they have an instant here. Callous Dismissal is a sorcery. This card would be absolutely busted at instant. Nice, so we do sneak in 2 points of damage. We will pass the turn. I expect the Callous Dismissal here, maybe even on our 2/2 zombie army, because they can just kill it with that. Yep. Now they have their own zombie army that's going to slowly get to bigger throughout this game with Grateful Apparition's assistance. Turns into a 2/2 now. They have Wanderer's Strike coming out that they will proliferate onto that again. They need 1 more mana for the Wanderer's Strike right now. Tammy's Epiphany, scry 4, draw 2. Our opponent definitely has a lot of powerful draw spells. Hitting a spell off of Augur of Bolas is pretty great too. Spellgorger Weird. We might have wanted to put a counter on Blast Zone, but I don't think I'm blowing up 2s because I've got 3 2s on this board. I guess we do kill Grateful Apparition and Augur. But we kill a lot of our own stuff. I think I'll play Spellgorger Weird here. Could also just throw counters on Blast Zone, but Blast Zone isn't really getting us anywhere. They don't have the mana to tap anything down with Larun Enforcer, so I do get to attack with everybody, but they have a 2/2, so they trade there. If they trade there, they're not proliferating anymore, but they could also just eat that. I don't think I have good attacks. And I don't think I have good Blast Zones. So we're just passing. Double Grateful Apparition? Alright, they got it. A Trusted Pegasus. Kind of the blue-white flyers deck going on over here. Command the Dreadhorde is pretty terrible in this matchup. They do just try to slow us down and not really going to be any trades happening. I suppose Blast Zone on 2 does let us command the Dreadhorde bring back all of their 2s and our 2s. Yeah, that was actually probably our best bet. So it might have been a bit of a punt. We did have one turn where we had the time to throw another counter on Blast Zone, so we could put it on 2s. I wasn't even thinking of the Command the Dreadhorde synergy that is available there. Well, we'll do it now. Put Blast Zone to 2 and get ready for that. Actually, no, we don't have a 6th mana to cast Command the Dreadhorde if we had Blast Zoned earlier, because then we wouldn't have a Blast Zone on our field. We only have 5 mana. So even if we did that, we'd be in not a great situation here. Unless I draw a land next turn, then we would be ready. I mean, this is looking like a loss. They've just got a bunch of annoying little flyers. It's just a classic thing in literally any limited format that can get you. Just slow you down with some random stuff and drop flyers. That'll pretty much just do it. Tolsimir's pretty bomby rare. Spits out a wolf, fights something, gains life. And 2 3/3s, so the ground is pretty walled off now. Even if I do get a Command the Dreadhorde going. And they've got the Trusted Pegasus to give that flying. I'm just going to scoop them up now. We know that we don't have anything in our deck that's like a board wipe. We've got one Blast Zone that is sort of a board wipe, but it just kills their 2 drops or their 3 drops. It's only going to kill like 2 cards here. Let's head into round 6. Four wins and 1 loss. If we can get 5 wins, we can get up in value instead of just breaking even. That would be a solid goal to hit here. So that game was generally just pretty awkward. Just did not draw great cards to synergize with each other. We kind of just had a bunch of our little dorks out, nothing to break through the board. That was a matchup where actually having the Sorin's Thirsts in as well alongside the Jaya's Greetings would have been good, because it's basically what we needed all game was just Jaya's Greetings, but we needed to draw them earlier before our opponent had the widest board in the universe. Just needed our early removal. Bleeding Edge as well would have been fantastic. Just the early removal kind of stuff's what we were looking for there. To keep the pressure on, so like double Sorin's Thirst would have been beautiful there. I guess I could kind of focus the deck a little more towards the early aggression plays like that, if I want to be better in that sort of matchup specifically. And since the queue times are taking forever right now anyway, I'm going to take a moment and edit the deck a little bit again, just for fun. Kind of change things around a little. Try this out, the hyper aggro version. So we cut Blast Zone, because we do have a bunch of double black, double red kind of stuff, so it is a little difficult for our mana, especially if I'm cutting down to 15 lands for this version of the deck. Yeah, it looks like it didn't matter, because we're still not going to draw black mana. I have more swamps than mountains in here now as well. I think I will keep this Burning Prophet into Honor the God Pharaoh again. If we draw any land at all, should be able to fix our mana. We scry 1, then draw 2. Off of that, opponent's going first as well, so we draw on the first turn. Opponent's on white, starting out with Law Rune Enforcer, pretty much the best white common. 1 mana for a 1/2, can tap creatures with mana cost 2 or greater down for only 1 mana. That is literally every creature except for zombie armies. And I guess opposing Law Rune Enforcers, but generally 1 mana creatures are not really played in Limited. So it taps down basically everything. They followed it up with a Cruel Celebrant, which drains us for 1 life whenever one of their creatures dies. And Teo's Light Shield as a 1/4 big annoying blocker. Our opponent is definitely going for a similarly annoying strategy as the last one. Just wall things up, keep their tapper up. Hold us off here. Not what we like to see at all. Trusted Pegasus, alright. White is definitely our least favorite color to play against with this deck, because just Law Rune Enforcer and Trusted Pegasus, both of these powerful common cards are just very good against what we're doing. I think I like Honor the God Pharaoh and Spark Harvest here. That's casting 2 non-creature spells, so Spellgorger goes up to 4, Prophet goes to 3. We get to scry a bunch. And get rid of the Pegasus. Could get rid of the Law Rune Enforcer as well. Actually not super worried about the Pegasus if I'm getting aggressive here. I think I get rid of Lazotep Reaver, because On-Crop Invader is better just aggressively, and I'm going to try to crack in for a lot of damage here. Don't want a 5th land. Jaya Greeting and Deliver Unto Evil. These are both great draws. Jaya's Greeting is going to be able to finish off the Law Rune Enforcer or Trusted Pegasus. I guess I kill Law Rune Enforcer right now then, and Jaya's Greeting the Pegasus next turn, because they're just not going to block here. I have 2 3/3s attacking in. A 4/4 and a 3/3, I mean. Scry that to the bottom. Let's just go off here. Hit for 8. Or 7. I'm bad at math, don't worry about it. Definitely not going to be the green-blue Mathemagicians in Strixhaven, that's for sure. Alright, they have chump blockers, which will be annoying with Cruel Celebrant. Maybe I kill Cruel Celebrant with Jaya's Greeting instead now. Toll of the Invasion. Maybe I did want 1 more land. I guess specifically for drawing Toll of the Invasion I would. 1 more land would allow us to 3-drop, 2-drop here. How much damage should they crack back at us for if I Jaya's Greeting the Cruel Celebrant? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 max. We're hitting for like 6. If I Jaya's Greeting Trusted Pegasus, they can't attack in. I guess I'm on the defensive now. If they have anything to sacrifice the Pegasus, they could do it in response here to stop me from scrying 1 more. Do I want the 5th land when my hand is all 3-drops? I'd want 6 lands, ideally, to be able to cast 2 things in 1 turn. I don't know. I don't think I do, now that I've gotten rid of a 2-drop. But I guess I do have a lot of 2-drops in my deck, so if I draw another 2-drop, then we would have wanted another land at some point. Well, we got one now anyway. I think I will toll the invasion now. See what they've got going on. Dreadmalkin. I can play that and a 3-drop. That seems pretty solid. Even if it's not the craziest thing ever. They have Wanderer's Strike to exile any creature, Despark to exile a permanent with mana cost 4 or greater. That exiles basically nothing in our deck, and Battlefield Promotion. If we know that it's coming, we can play around it. So we get rid of Wanderer's Strike, because they can't kill our Spellgorger weird. And that Cruel Celebrant on their board, I think I'm still just chilling. We're going to go for a Deliver Unto Evil, choosing all of our non-creature spells here so that we can just go absolutely off with Spellgorger Weird. Give us any of these two and we're happy. They probably give us Toll and Honor the God Pharaoh, because we can't cast either of those this turn. And neither of them are removal spells. Ooh, they do give us Jaya's Greeting. I'm actually pumped about that. They have Battlefield Promotion to put a +1/+1 counter on something, but that's not going to save Cruel Celebrant, so I'm actually super pumped about that. Get this thing out of the way so I can actually just go for it. Tybalt's going to be a great draw. You attack in with like a 8/8. They either go to 8 or chump block here. We're at 12 life, but we're facing 2 1-power creatures. Herald of the Dreadhorde. 3, 4, 5, 6 power maximum. Spellgorger Weird does still get to just get in there. I think I play Tybalt here, stop them from gaining life off of stuff like Battlefield Promotion and just random other stuff. Keep them at as low as possible. Get more chump blockers out, so I'm always safe to attack with Spellgorger Weird. And play our nice little sacrifice outlet. It's also got Menace. It's going to get really big, sacrificing zombie armies and devil tokens and all of that. Makeshift Battalion from our opponent. We can kill that, lower the amount of blockers they have. Gain a couple life. I like that Tybalt's one-sided, that's just rude. Oh, I guess they can Battlefield Promotion here, but they don't gain life off of it, so at least we get that out of the way, don't have to worry about it anymore. We still gain some life. They've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 toughness.
I adore an audience.
Just keep attacking with Spellgorger Weird. I'm going to play On-Crop Invader here over Honor the God Pharaoh, because this also will be able to attack in for just like 10. Whenever we can get lethal, we can just sacrifice the rest of our field. Enforcer Griffin. Hello there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They do have 10, but Jaya's Greeting is going to make it too big, I think. Attack in with these two. There are no blocks that are good for them. There's no reason to Jaya's Greeting right now. We just let it happen. I have 5 mana, so I could have pumped that up to 10 damage, but it wouldn't be quite lethal yet. Honor the God Pharaoh here. Make Spellgorger a bit bigger, draw a couple cards. Make sure they're actual cards by scrying something away. Burning Prophet or Jaya's Greeting. I'll hold on to Jaya's Greeting. This is just a game where we've absolutely gone off. Unless they have a Wrath effect. Don't really want another Burning Prophet at this point. That I do want. That'll be funny. All right, now I'm just feeling greedy again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at 6 life after this. Oh, they're just gonna scoop them up. That's fair. Still had really good attacks. Just attack with Spellgorger Weird and the On-Crop Invader. That's the simplest attack we can make. That is just definitely good. There's no possible way they can block it without just chump blocking with two things, and they have to chump block at this point, or either of those is lethal. So we really didn't need to command the Dread Horde, but the card is still really cool. And I could get their Cruel Celebrant and try to drain them out that way. So we are 5 wins and 1 loss now. I feel like the 1 loss was really weird too, because the 1 loss we had was against a deck that I was just kind of weirded out by generally. Just like blue-white, very small creatures. I guess they did play a lot of very powerful draw spells. That is probably what helped them a lot. But it definitely didn't feel like... didn't feel like the deck that I was like, ooh, I'm definitely going to lose to this. We told the invasion, I'm like, alright, draw spells and some tiny creatures, and then just, yeah. The tiny creatures did get there if they got to hold off my board long enough to ping us with the flyers and all of that. Burning Prophet into Honor the God Pharaoh if we draw any land, and could even do Toll of the Invasion or Vraska's Finisher, depending on what we need. I will keep this. We are on the play as well, which is what you like in a Burning Prophet deck, I think. Another Honor the God Pharaoh. Not a bad draw if we can hit the mana for it. Although I may just discard an Honor the God Pharaoh to an Honor the God Pharaoh. Deliver Unto Evil is definitely our latest game card here. Erratic Visionary for our opponent. Let's just attack in. Maybe we Vraska's Finisher here. If they block. Alright. If we played one of our 3 mana instants or sorceries, they would have just responded by blocking with Visionary because we'd be tapped out. So we actually got in more damage that way than we would have otherwise if the plan was just to Toll the Invasion. Definitely keeping a Spellgorger weird. They have Sorin's Thirst. I think we get rid of that so they can't get rid of Spellgorger weird for a while. They only have 1 black mana right now, though, so they do need to draw another Swamp for it, but I think it's still the pick. Yeah, because then their next removal spell's at 5. It's totally lost, which just slows us down. So we are against blue-black. It's like a relatively slow deck. Hopefully we can just outpace them. If I attack with Burning Prophet here, they double block. That doesn't kill. So we attack with Burning Prophet, maybe Vraska's Finish or something. If not, just play a Spellgorger Weird. Alright, Spellgorger Weird it is. If they play a Swamp here... Okay, I was going to say, if we play a Swamp here, we know they have their 5 mana for Totally Lost. And we do. So they can Totally Lost our Spellgorger Weird. So we don't want to overcommit into it, but we can only play 1 card for it anyway. They have 1 card we don't know about. If that 1 card is an instant, they could do something really bad on a block here, but otherwise Jaya's Greeting should make any attack pretty great here. Alright, Vraska's Finisher it is. They do get to draw 1 card, discard 1 with Visionary if they want to before it dies. Probably discard that island if they draw another land. That is the play. And there is the additional island. Dropping down an Ashiok's Skulker. So I can Jaya's Greeting to trade up into that. I trade a Spellgorger Weird and Jaya's Greeting to kill it. Everything else that I have will be big enough to attack into Sky Theater Strix without dying, except my zombie army. I have to wait till I honor the God Pharaoh for that one. The only card we know about is Totally Lost. It's probably worth the trade up into the Skulker just to get it out of the way and stay aggressive. Plus I get the double scry off of this. A Burning Prophet. I think I could actually use another one of those. Because their field is small enough that Burning Prophets are actual threats, but we don't know what their other cards are. So it could be another Ashiok Skulker, in which case we're going to have to go back to just vibing. Another Sky Theater Strix it is. That we can definitely attack into well. Just attack with a Vraska's Finisher. I guess they could double block it now, so we don't attack in that well with anything, really. One card away from being able to deliver unto evil. Don't think I'm going to honor the God Pharaoh quite yet. Let's just drop a Spellgorger Weird. And pass. They're down to 11, so at least I don't feel like they will be attacking us very aggressively. It's like just another removal spell for them. So there goes the Spellgorger Weird. Kasmina, well, that can definitely allow them to attack in pretty aggressively. Kasmina is a pretty busted uncommon. Almost rare-worthy. Very, very powerful. Ooh, no attacks. Alright, well, I will definitely take that. Command the Dreadhorde coming up means I actually want every land I get from now on. I am still at 20, so I kind of want to honor the God Pharaoh now and just set up to get into that, because it will be powerful. Get a 3/5, 1/3 Spellgorger, 2 Spellgorger Weirds. Yeah, it's going to be incredibly powerful. I think we set up with these Honor the God Pharaohs here, actually discarding a Burning Prophet. Go for the strongest late game cards we have. Get rid of anything that isn't a land right now. Could have sent all at Kasmina. That might have been... No, that was maybe the play. Like, they kill Finisher, but then these two, like, we probably kill a Strix with. They could double block the 2/2 to kill that. Tie the Bearer Giant. Take damage and draw a card. Okay, I was going to say, they're almost definitely at the point they get to attack us with these Strixes now. We're only 1 mana away from the Command the Dreadhorde. Do we get any flyers out of that, though? Because that would be a problem if we don't. We do not, so we really need to worry about the Sky Theater Strixes. I can cast Dreadmalkin and Honor the God Pharaoh. But then what am I discarding? I don't want to discard Deliver Unto Evil. Our grave is like so loaded here. I think I'm discarding a Dreadmalkin. It's not really going to affect the board right now. Spark Harvest can kill one of those flyers. I do actually want to keep that, I think. And a Tybalt is the draw. If I Spark Harvest, what am I sacrificing right now? I don't know, but I do want to scry one more, because if I scry one more, we can try to guarantee that we hit the Command the Dreadhorde mana next turn. Actually, Kasmina makes everything we cast cost 2 more to target all their stuff, too. Yeah, Kasmina is pretty bonkers. We cannot actually Spark Harvest right now, because we need to spend 3 mana to do it. Well, we are only taking 2 a turn, but 2 a turn is a lot for shutting off Command the Dreadhorde at the very least. I'm going to delete Arena. Toll of the Evasion on Command the Dreadhorde it is. Now we have to play a regular game of Magic, where we draw into Soren's Thirsts, Jaya's Greetings, that kind of stuff. All we have to do here really is kill the 2 Sky Theater Strixes, and then we're fine, but that's easier said than done. It's a problem right now. They might not get rid of Command the Dreadhorde. They might be like, well, that is just, you're just going to die if you cast that. We will see. They're definitely going into the think tank about it. It is a pretty big decision. They do get rid of the Command the Dread Horde after much deliberation. We are taking 4 a turn off of the Strixes. This is, well, on average, like 4 a turn off the Strixes, which is a problem. I get to play Tybalt, sacrifice a Devil token to Spark Harvest one of the Strixes. If they don't have a counterspell here. Neheb, I actually think I need to get rid of you, because we literally just need removal for flyers.
Play nice, they said.
Because Deliver Unto Evil, we've got the long game unlocked, we actually don't need more bomby cards. We just need to get rid of these flyers. Get rid of the annoying spending 2 more mana for removal thing on Chasmina, but I have 6 mana available, so if I just draw into Sorin's Thirst or Jaya's Greeting, I can still just use it. So I kind of think I get rid of a 1/1. It makes it harder for them to crack Tybalt down here. They attack Tybalt with everybody. I block kill. Just let Tybalt die. I'm probably letting Tybalt die to the 4/5 regardless. Yeah, let's kill Chasmina, I guess. If they have Aid the Fallen in their deck, that'll be worse for us than if we just left it on the board. But I like making our removal actually efficient. So we could cast Deliver Unto Evil, and if we pick up Spark Harvest or Jaya's Greeted, we can cast it immediately. They could also just attack with Sky Theater Strix if they have the non-creature spell to lower Tybalt.
Hey.
Alright, well, their Sorin's Thirsts are going to be active because we're going to let Tybalt die, but I don't think that's a huge deal.
Oh, they're so cute.
Okay, we want everything that can kill their flyers. So we want Spark Harvest. We want Jaya's Greeting. So those can kill the flyers. And then I think we want Command the Dread Horde. And a Spellgorger Weird or a Tybalt. On this board, it might actually just be a Tybalt. Because, like, our hand's empty now, so... I guess Spellgorger, every other card that we're picking is non-creatures, so Spellgorger, if we cast it first, is going to be like a 3/3 at least. I'll go Tybalt. Get rid of Lazotep, I think. They pick 2 of these that stay in the grave, the other 2 go to our hand. We might get Tybalt Command the Dread Horde here, so they can keep their Sky Theater Strix. But I can return their Sky Theater Strix for 2 life and just play it real safe, don't take anything else back. I'm probably going to end up playing it a bit risky and taking more than just Sky Theater Strix, but we can at least get their Sky Theater Strix from their grave. Alright, yeah, next turn we're going to Command the Dread Horde and just have a blocker for their bird. Alright, and draw into Sorin's Thirst. That's going to make Command the Dread Horde even better, because we're just going to have all those flyers out of here.
The more, the messier.
Sorin's Thirst is a great card to have on top here.
Give me all you've got.
Please work. It will. And we have another Sorin's Thirst. I might as well keep it. We do want to gain life here with this Command the Dread Horde. That will be very nice.
My assistants are painfully sloppy.
holding on to this land because we do have Honor the God Pharaohs, stuff like that. I'm at 16 life. I just have to command and not die if they can't counter this. If they have a counterspell for this, it would be the one that counters it unless I pay 2, so we need to wait one more turn. I don't think they have a counterspell. Let's see. We'd have to also immediately draw that land next turn or be waiting quite a while. So we're taking 4 right now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to 8 life? Seems like the best choice. Chasmin is pretty massive here. If they have the counterspell, we don't take any damage anyway, so it's not that bad. Keep Obnixlus's Cruelty, that seems pretty good. Alright. Worked out.
And prepare for war. Hone your control.
I'm feeling very solid about our situation now. We get to just start doing what they were doing to us and just pinging over the skies, over the big board state that we've got. Yep, they're going to scoop them up, command the Dread Horde. Pretty bonkers card, especially when you can get it back after it's been told of the invasion with the, I forget what it's called, this card, the gigantic artwork in the background of the Premier Draft War of the Spark thing. So 6 wins and 1 loss here, 1,800 gems and 5 packs, no matter what. Only need 1 more win for the full 7-win run, the full trophy. That'll be pretty nice. I think the deck is pretty nice. Big Burning Prophet energy. We'll see how far we can take it. Trying to take it all the way. So this could be the final boss, although if we lose, we do get 1 rematch. Not a literal rematch, we will be playing against somebody else, but we get 2 chances to take down the final boss here. I think I do like the lower land count, more aggressive version of this deck with the Sorin's Thirsts added back in, rather than the like 6 mana creature and stuff like that. I just think that curving out in the early game with the Burning Prophets can be just very, very good. And even just using them to set up your draws to get you closer to your bombier plays like the Command the Dread Hordes is very nice as well. Nobody's playing War of the Spark right now, apparently. Well, we're playing War of the Spark, and we're playing it a lot. We are like 2 hours into this draft. This is a big one. A big, bulky draft for you all. Back at it again, always with the mono-colored hands. We have more swamps than mountains, yet again. It's always mono-red as well, not even mono-black. No idea what's going on with the mana situations in basically every draft I've had in this format. But we have been drawing into the second color pretty early consistently, thankfully. I don't know if I can keep this though, because we don't have any non-creature spells in red that we can cast with this Burning Prophet out to try to scry into the black mana. We're just drawing blind, not really digging at all for it, but if we do hit black mana, this hand is pretty fantastic. I am going to keep it. We're on the draw here, so we get to draw on our first turn. Gives us more draw steps to get there. We've drawn a second Burning Prophet, so any red non-creature spell will help us dig towards the swamps as well. We are against blue-white. That is not the color combination that I like to see, basically ever. But we did draw our swamps, so that's good. But as we saw earlier in this draft, that is our 1 loss. Was against blue-white. So now we're pretty much all set on mana. We've got 4 mana available. We've got double Burning Prophet, and then we've got some non-creature removal spells to cast to scry more. Yep, now we have 5 mana, double double black and double red. We can cast anything in our whole deck except Command the Dreadhorde, and we only need one more land for that. They have Battlefield Promotion, that makes it a 2/2. I get to hold up Obnixilus's Cruelty here, so if something dramatically terrible happens, I can save our Burning Prophet. Nothing bad happens, so we will just play our second. And pass the turn. With double black, we can cast Lazatep Reaver and sacrifice the 1/1 to a Spark Harvest if we need to kill something immediately, and it's something that we can't kill with Obnixilus's Cruelty. Elite Guard Mage, very nice card. 2/3 flyer and you gain some life and draw a card. That is a card I would like to kill. I think I'm going to kill it with Obnixilus's Cruelty rather than Spark Harvest, just because Spark Harvest can kill Planeswalkers as well if our opponent casts Ugin, Jace, Teferi, any Planeswalker in blue-white, we want to kill it, basically, so I think we Obnixilus's Cruelty here. Scry 2, set up for some good attacks. But I do definitely want to kill that flyer so I can get in. I think I'll take a Tibalt. Tibalt does combo well with Spark Harvest, and it shuts off their life gain, gives us some nice little Devil tokens to attack with, and worst case scenario, if a Devil token dies, we can kill a Fibblethip with it. Fibblethip is just a 1/1 that draws a card when you play it, basically. If it comes into your library, or comes into play from your library somehow, you do draw 2 cards. And if we cast a removal spell on it, it does shuffle back into the library, but we would never do that against a 1/1. So a lot of strange text on Fibblethip. And limited Fibblethip is just a 2-mana 1/1 and you draw a card when you play it. Super fine card. Definitely not dramatically rare worthy or anything. They're going to slow us down with the Callous Dismissal. That is fine by me. At least we got them to use that in a turn where they're not attacking. I think we just play Burning Prophet first, and then we play a Tibalt Scry one, just make sure we're not drawing more lands here, because we do have 6 already. They do have a flyer here, which is a bit of an issue. Tibalt could die to that, but that is only if they cast another non-creature spell. I do like Spellgorger Weird. I'm going to keep that.
Devilishly fun for me.
I am getting a Devil token out of Tibalt, so I think I am attacking with Burning Prophet. They could kill it if they block with all 3, but then I kill Sky Theater Strix. I think that's a fine trade to me at this point in the game. It's kind of accomplished its goal here. Alright, interesting. Well, Tibalt is going to stay around then. We are going to kill their flyer. The Devil tokens are super good against these just 1/1 creatures here. I guess Burning Prophet just scrying for the rest of the game is pretty powerful, so definitely a fine play by our opponent if they didn't have a way to nuke Tibalt this turn, or they had some alternate way to do it anyway. Return it to our hand. Now that I'm not so sure about, because that means we get just another Devil out of it. Just getting even more. Maybe they have counter a creature or Planeswalker spell here, and they're going to counter Tibalt. If not, we just get an additional Devil from them bouncing our Tibalt. Ooh, counter a non-creature spell. Okay, that makes sense then. Do still get the +1/+1 counter on Spellgorger Weird at least. Dreadmalkin's going to be a good draw because it's actually like a big menace creature. When we can sacrifice this Devil token to it, we can sacrifice stuff from Lazatep Reaver to it. So yeah, I'll take a Dreadmalkin. If I attack with Prophet, we're not getting a good trade out of that. If I attack with Devil, I am trading up into the 2/2. But if they block with Fibblethip, I just trade with Fibblethip, deal 1 to them. That seems pretty bad. Tamio's Epiphany, scry 4 and draw 2. Three to the top and 1 on the bottom. Pretty terrifying. Some good stuff coming up then. 2 mana up. They could have like a battlefield promotion, some kind of combat trick. I don't think I'm super prone to playing around that here, so I am going to still just attack with Spellgorger Weird. Because if they don't have anything, we can sacrifice our Devil token to Dreadmalkin, kill Fibblethip in response here. If they have Battlefield Promotion, they would have used it earlier, so that would mean they just drew into it off of Epiphany. Definitely would be a bad time for us. Let's see what this is. Oh, just deal 4 to it? Yeah, that was going to get Spellgorger weird at pretty much any point. We only have one more non-creature spell, and we're not likely to play that anytime soon. Well, just make Dreadmalkin the big threat then. Play a Lazotep Reaver. No reason to hold up mana here. We don't have enough to sacrifice something to Dreadmalkin again, so we'll play the Reaver. And yeah, this cat is about to be massive if they don't kill it right now. We'll get to attack with it as a 5/5 menace, which is definitely big enough to attack into their field. Could even sacrifice 2 things to it since we have 6 mana up. It only costs 3 to do that. Could turn it into a 7/7 menace. And we get to sacrifice our Devil token at instant speed to do 1 damage whenever we want. Clear Fibblethip off the board. Wanderer's Strike. Alright, well, they just have removal for Dreadmalkin. Fair enough. We are kind of in a top deck war against a blue deck with some solid draw spells, which is a very bad place to be. I feel like this is something I say at least once every draft, and then end up losing the game quite often. Oh yeah, Bond of Insight's gonna pretty much do it to us. That basically means game over. They return 2 instants or sorceries from their grave to hand, so they can just return Tamiyo's Epiphany alongside a powerful removal spell. So now they've just drawn 2. Not only have they drawn 2, they've drawn the 2 best cards they possibly can draw off of this Bond of Insight. And they will just always have the card advantage here. I'm still going to try my best, of course, but it's not looking good. Whoa. That's a really weird choices to me. Relentless Advance and Divine Arrow. That's not what I expected at all. That actually makes me feel like I have more of a chance than I thought I would. Because, like, Epiphany absolutely felt like the #1 pick to me. Just Epiphany Wanderer's Strike or something. Because you kill something and make your army bigger rather than just make your army bigger. I don't know. I am going to toll the invasion here and see if I get something off of this. And see what else they have in hand. That might explain more what they chose there. Another Bond of Insight? Good lord. Yeah, that does explain what they chose a little bit. They have a Crushed Descent. If I know that that's coming, I can always hold up the 2 mana to prevent it. Divine Arrow's annoying, but I am going to probably just try to go wide around everything. Relentless Advance does make that a 6/6. Got a Spark Harvest to kill it. I think I just take Bond of Insight. Probably going to Spark Harvest to kill their zombie army if it starts attacking in. And if it does start attacking in, we just get to attack it with the rest of our field because everything we have attacks into Fibblethip. Just perfectly fine. I'm going to start playing my lands to play around Crushed Descent. They're a blue-white deck, so they're not going to have any discard spells. I need to have 8 mana up to be able to Spark Harvest their creature if they're holding up mana for Crushed Descent, because I need to have the 5 to cast and the 2... Actually, no, I only need 7 mana up, so I have exactly enough mana to cast Spark Harvest and hold up 2 to counter their Crushed Descent. So we'll stop playing lands at this point in case we draw another Godpharaoh's Gift or something. And they've top-decked Teferi. That is always the worst feeling in the world when you have the thing that just like makes them discard something, and then immediately the next turn they just draw into something better. We do have Spark Harvest here though, so we're just going to kill that. And this is why we played that land, because now I can afford to spend 2 additional mana here. So they can Crush Descent, but it's not going to do anything for them. It will make their army a 5/5. But we're definitely killing Teferi. If we don't kill Teferi, Teferi's going to sit here and keep drawing a card. They get to return their own Fibblethip to their hand as well and just like draw 2 that way.
Now what?
Alright, so our opponent didn't even go for the Crush Descent. I think at this late in the game, you kind of have to just Crush Descent just to get the Amass tokens. At least that's what I would probably do. Oh, never mind. I totally forgot that Teferi's +1 allows them to flash in anything, so if they don't Crush Descent there, they can just amass onto their zombie army through other means. They do have a Divine Arrow and a Crush Descent here, so if I try to Sorin's Thirst to kill their 6/6, they could respond with a Crush Descent to counter that. And I don't have enough power on the board to kill it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I block with everything and throw a Devil Token at it, I can kill it, but they can then Divine Arrow if that is my plan. So we don't have a way to kill this right now, so we're just going to take it. Which is fine, because we can just get racing now. We know they have Divine Arrow and a counterspell, so if their third card is just like a land or something, we can just start racing them. Drop Neheb, they can't counter it because I have the mana. I think we attack everything but the Devil Token. The Devil Token can chump block their giant army and kill Fibblethip. They get to Divine Arrow or Burning Prophet here, I guess, might be the best pick. Maybe the 2/2. Divine Arrow, the Burning Prophet it is. Neheb is going to accomplish a similar goal. Anytime we draw any lands, if we get to hit them with Neheb, we get to just discard them, draw other cards. Cast Neheb, holding the 2 up to counter their Crush Descent. It doesn't fully counter the Crush Descent, because they do get the counters onto their army from it, but it makes sure that my spell still resolves. Feeling pretty good about the race if they attack us. If they don't attack us, we don't exactly have attacks into them, though. So if they hold off, they're probably still generally winning because they are a blue deck. But if they attack, I think we can crack back very well. Especially with Neheb's ability to draw us more cards. I am 1 damage off from killing that 8/8, because Neheb plus Thirst is 7 damage. I don't have any Sacrifice Outlet to throw the Devil at the 8/8 as well. So, we are in the top deck war again. But for a red-black deck, our deck is pretty good at top decking. We have Godpharaoh's... There they are. Honor the Godpharaoh, not Godpharaoh's Gift. And we have Neheb's ability... Deliver from evil or whatever, or deliver unto evil. All of that kind of stuff. Don't really see a reason to hold up Sorin's Thirst here, so we'll just start making some Tibalt tokens. Eventually our field will probably be wide enough to still attack in. With double Sorin's Thirst, if they don't have a counterspell, we do get to just attack in with everybody next turn. Double Sorin's Thirst, they're 8/8. And to be super safe about it, I can Toll of the Invasion here. The problem with that is I don't hold up 4 black to do this, but I want to be safe about it. And then I'll double Sorin's Thirst next turn. Crush Descent. Well, now that's a 10/10. So that didn't work out super well. But it actually is a really good thing that I told the invasion. If I didn't do that, I'd attack in, go for the double Sorin's Thirst, and they just like crush Descent, and then I lose Neheb, I lose the Sorin's Thirst. I probably wouldn't lose both, because they'd probably crush the first one, so that they know they're getting the counters, even if I only had 1. But now we know they have nothing else in hand. We do have 9 damage with 2 Sorin's Thirst and Neheb, but 9 is not 10. Not big enough to kill the zombie army still. Still 1 off from that. Yeah, that's not great. If I attack with everybody, they block there, take 4. I don't think we can attack in still. Top deck war continues. Definitely a really nervous situation to be in. Elite Guard Mage, oh lord. Yeah, and they do have powerful draw spells in their deck as well. Cards like Elite Guard Mage are pretty great here. Gives them a flyer to keep attacking us with as well, or just another blocker generally, and draws a card when they play it. Very, very good in this position. Chase's Triumph. I shouldn't say any words with my mouth, because now they're just going to draw like 5 cards this turn. Come on, second Jace's Triumph, let's go. Maybe we mill them out. They have 7 cards left. If we can survive, we can mill them out. That's lethal on board. That's 10 damage to it. If they do any tricksy stuff, we have double Soren's Thirst to finish it off, so this should kill that. I guess being able to hit them with Neheb is really good to discard this swamp, so can I get lethal otherwise? If I block it with everything, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Yeah, that is lethal otherwise, so Neheb gets to get in and we draw cards off Neheb here. I think our opponent is realizing their situation down to 7 cards in library. They have to find a way to kill us, not just hang out here. That has 2 toughness left, so a Soren's Thirst will kill it. I can throw 3 damage at Elite Guard Mage and kill that as well. If they counter one of our Soren's Thirst, we can just cast a second one here. Does it seem safe to me? Oh yeah, that was beautiful for us. They just got to a low enough amount of cards that they had to do something, and we had just really good instant speed responses and blocks to what they were doing. No escape, sure. Still have Neheb against the 1/1, so we are still definitely doing very well. It has Trample, so there's no way I'm throwing a Soren's Thirst away here. We're going to hit them no matter what, discard the swamp, draw something else. Jaya's Greeting, pretty great draw. Definitely not casting that either. Now we have 2 removal spells. We can use both of these to deal 5 damage if they manage to get a large blocker. Now all we're doing is trying to keep the board clear enough for Neheb. They can gain life now because they killed Tybalt, but
I was bored anyway.
hopefully they're just out of cards like Elite Guard Mage to gain life. Neheb's really doing his thing here, keeping us drawing straight gas, getting rid of all these lands we're drawing. Very great stuff from Neheb, that's for sure. We have 3 removal spells in hand too. They have 1 card in hand. I don't see any way that they could survive here. Rescuer Sphinx, they could return that, make that a 4/3, draw another card. To stop them from drawing another card, I'm going to kill Fibblethip right now. And then I kill that. That way we know they have 0 outs. If we let them bounce Fibblethip, they could just cast Fibblethip, draw 1 final card, maybe draw a removal spell for Neheb, but by killing Fibblethip before that resolves, we know they don't even get to draw a card, there's just nothing they could have. So that was the final game, final play of the draft. We made it into Diamond, got a nice 7-win run, trophied with this very solid Rakdos deck, and yeah, I'm definitely the happiest with the final version I ended up playing. I think we could, with triple Burning Prophet here, we really got to whittle down the amount of lands that we were using and just use Burning Prophet's Scry to make sure we were hitting things. Definitely wanted to cast as many of these cheap removal spells as possible with the Burning Prophets as well. So I think the final version of the deck is the version that I'm the most happiest with. Plus, after I played Command the Dreadhorde one time, I was like, okay, yep, Command the Dreadhorde should have been main deck the whole time. Definitely didn't need as much deliberation on that. But this is basically a new format to me because it's been so many years and I did not play this very much. So kind of just learning the format as we go. And we've definitely learned that all of our rares here are pretty incredibly bomby and incredibly good stuff. Every one of these has won us a game. Command the Dreadhorde won us multiple games. Deliver Unto Evil definitely won us a game by getting a Command the Dreadhorde back, although we didn't get to use it that much. And then obviously in that last game, Neheb absolutely took that game for us, being able to bash in for 5 a turn with the Trample as well and keep fueling our draw steps, getting rid of those lands to make sure we can keep drawing more actual spells to keep a firm hold on the end of that game. So really, really solid stuff from all of those bomb rares. And in terms of commons and uncommons, the cards that, I don't know if I would say overperformed, but the cards that performed were definitely Burning Prophets. That was pretty fun to be able to do that kind of deck with a ton of cheap instants and sorceries. even planeswalkers trigger the prophets to bash in with these in the early game, and then in the late game just use these to sift away any extra land draws. Burning Prophet, definitely a very, very solid common. And I would say Spellgorger Weird actually, it did incredible work in one of the games. This is a card I really, really like. It did incredible work in that game where it was like a 10-10 or something, but generally it underperformed a tiny bit, probably just because the removal in this format is so powerful that most of our opponents were having ways to just kill these eventually, but still a very, very good card, probably the second best creature we have behind the Burning Prophet. Burning Prophet was just doing so much work throughout any point of the game, getting an aggressive and scrying away cards, so both very, very good cards. Yeah, just a really solid deck, really fun stuff, lots of non-creature synergies, and that is going to end that War of the Spark draft in a 7-win, 1-loss run. Very, very fantastic run all around. So, as always, thank you all very much for watching. If you want to see more of these drafts and Magic Arena content in general, you're at the right place. Just stick around, like, comment, subscribe if you want the YouTube algorithm to recommend you more of these videos. And that's about it. I do stream very occasionally on Twitch whenever I want to play some extra games, maybe just hang out in viewers, so there is a link in the description for that. But otherwise, just thank you for watching. You know where to be, you know where the videos will be, and I will be back again with more Magic Arena videos very soon.